Hello, everyone. It seems that we are live. Hopefully, a lot of you are here. We will read your comments in the chat. But first of all, let me say hello to Genesis Davies. Many of you hopefully know her face already. Um, People who have been following AuthorScale know that this is now her second success case. We have already interviewed her back in December 2024 when she had a TikTok that she created with AuthorScale that went viral and that made her $10,000 over the span of a few days. So Genesis has had lately new success with Reels and a different format, and we're going to talk about all of that. But before I let you, Genesis, say hi and maybe quickly recap your first success story, because there might be many new joiners that don't know about you or haven't seen you yet, just so everyone is on the same page.
All right. So, hi, everybody. I'm Genesis. Like Marvin said, I went full time back in 2024, actually in 2025, because as we know, Amazon pays out 2 months later. But basically, I was a part time writer. I had a few books out. They were doing not well. I was probably making about $200 a month. And I needed a way to get on social media, specifically TikTok, because I saw all these people having success on TikTok. So I really wanted to try it. And I was looking for a way to make it faster because I was doing everything on Canva. I'd seen the slideshows were working. So I started doing slideshows on Canva, and it was taking me so long that I ended up doing maybe like two or three a week, which, as we know, it does not work very well. So I was doing that, and it's taking so long. So I was looking for a way to automate as much as possible. And I tried ChatGPT, that doesn't work at all. And then I came across AuthorScale, and they were just starting out, and so it's still fairly basic. They've come a long way since then. That I started in with them, and within 3 months, I had a video that went, or a slideshow that went viral, and I ended up, I think, in total, it had something like 180 something thousand views. But basically, in that week that it went viral, I made about $10,000. It was insane, and I mean, going from like 200. So basically, I woke up one morning, I had $500 in my KDP dashboard, and immediately I was going, okay, well, where did this come from? Did somebody mention my books? Like, what's going on? So I started searching around, and it wasn't until later when I went to post my video on TikTok, like another one, I realized, oh, wait, I'm on TikTok. I should check that out. So, yeah, my video had gone viral, and I just sat there and watched it counting up with views, watched my sales just piling in. It was absolutely incredible. And after that, the trail off was amazing. So I ended up with a whole new normal, and it was enough that I was able to go full time in 2025. And so I was able to leave my freelancing career behind and go straight into authoring, which of course is the dream. It was absolutely incredible, and just being able to not have to worry about clients anymore and just focus on doing what I really love to do, which is writing stories. It was absolutely incredible. And so I've been full time now for almost 2 years, just over a year and a half, I guess. And it has been absolutely the dream. And then more recently, um, I had I've been launching books. I hired a coach, and I've been launching more regularly than I was before, and that's helped. But I've also used AuthorScale on TikTok this entire time. I've had some videos go viral, and as we know, that something changed a bit in TikTok recently, and so it's a little bit more difficult to go viral. But I was very, very stuck on TikTok, and so I had been just using TikTok still until this last book launch, which was exactly a month ago today. And I released a book, and I can show you guys the screenshots and stuff later. But I had lots of pre-orders thanks to having a good audience on TikTok. So I had put out, the videos and stuff promoting that new book, and then it just kind of spiraled from there. I ended up with a bunch of pre-orders, and then it ended up on the day that I had the release. It spiked, of course, as you expect, and then went down fairly quickly. But about a week later is when I actually saw a Facebook reel take off. And since then, my sales went up, and they've just been fairly steady across the board for the past 2 weeks, which has been absolutely amazing.
That's awesome to hear. So before we jump into the nitty-gritty of how the formats look, what you're posting, and the technicalities, so authors can try it for themselves and for their books, maybe a bit about kind of yourself, what genre you're writing, how many books you have out, and how was basically how did you decide to become a writer? How was that story?
Well, I mean, I've always wanted to be a writer since I was very small. When I was like 6 years old, I told my grandmother that I was going to be a novelist. And pretty much everybody laughed at me because that's not a way to earn money, they said. Obviously, Amazon offering the opportunity to self-publish your own books. I mean, that has been a huge boon for everybody, right? Like you can actually get on and publish your own books. You don't have to worry so much about getting a trad deal, sorry. Yeah, so I've always wanted to write, and I have written quite a bit. And I started actually publishing in 2011. Didn't go very far with it because Amazon pays out 2 months ahead, and I'm the breadwinner for the family. So I was struggling to get, like, I had to do freelance work to pay the bills, and then didn't have very much time to be writing books. So yeah, I've always been writing, but it wasn't until like I want to say probably about 2023 that I really started to focus on writing a bit more. Yeah. So I write dark romance, Omegaverse specifically, and bully romance. But the Omegaverse books are the ones that are really taking off right now. So yeah, once I went full time with the books, it was pretty crazy because first of all, I can't believe people actually pay for stuff that just comes out of my head. Like they're actually interested in that. I'm just every day I wake up and I'm like, how? But yeah, it's pretty darn cool. So yeah, I've been doing that, and I originally the book that went viral, Omega Lost. It was originally just supposed to be a standalone, and I got a audiobook deal for it, and then it just kind of took off, and everybody kept asking for more. And so I thought, well, it'd be dumb not to keep writing, of course. So it's now 5 books. And then in that time, I also wrote another 5-book series. And then I have the back, like the old books that I had written. So I've got in total 30 books under this pen name. So, and then tomorrow, another launch. So it'll be 31 books.
So we wish you all the best for tomorrow's launch. We hope it's going to be even bigger than the previous one. But okay, that was back in 2024, your breakthrough, your moment when you were able to go full-time, a dream that many authors have and that we hope that everyone is able to achieve. And nowadays, with the power of social media, this should be doable. What would you say, how has your strategy or your tactics changed over time? Fast forward to 2026. I remember you were pretty reluctant about the real story, and we talked about that. So let us know a bit about this whole transformation.
All right. So like I said, I was very stuck on TikTok. I do like to stick with what I know, and TikTok was working. So I just stayed there, and I thought it's not worth the extra effort to do these other posts on other sites and stuff. And then I also, for some reason, I don't even know why, I put up on Threads, for example, I put up like a Happy New Year, I hope everyone does well, and I got banned on Threads. And then I got banned on Instagram as well, because they're all connected, right? So I got banned on Instagram. So yeah, I didn't do anything on Instagram for a long time. And then Facebook, I had put up a few reels, and my page, like my author page, was dead. So I would get like 2 or 3 views on the reels, and I was like, this is not worth it. Obviously, I need to stick with TikTok. But then AuthorScale started making it easier to get onto other things. Like they have the QR code now, which you can download the videos onto your phone. I mean, now you have the cues and everything like that for Instagram and YouTube and such. But at the time, I was like, okay, well, if it's a little bit easier, then I can just reuse the same thing, right? So I was putting up the slideshows. I would turn them into videos and put those up on Pinterest, on YouTube, and then also on Facebook. And they did very little. So I wasn't seeing the results, and I didn't want to put too much effort into it. But then you came out with the screenshots. And so I had tried screenshots before on Canva, like saving them on my phone, doing the screenshot, highlighting, which was a pain in the butt. So yeah, I wasn't doing that just because it was too much work, and I was trying to focus on actually getting the next book out. So once AuthorScale had the screenshot option, that changed everything. So then I was just grabbing the screenshots, popping them in there with a video, a stock video in the background. And I thought, why not? I'll try Facebook, because I'm a beta tester for a lot of the features. And so that was an option for me. I could try these things out on like Instagram. And I had started another Instagram account, but I don't qualify for trial reels yet. So yeah, I started putting up the videos on Instagram and then Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube. And it turns out that the screenshots actually do really, really well compared to the slideshows on those sites.
Awesome. So there were a lot of technical words like slideshows, can you screenshot videos? Maybe for people who really don't know what we're talking about, would you be able to share some examples, maybe the post that from 2024 that earned you $10,000, so we kind of get a feeling of how it looked like, and then also maybe the transformation of your content to now the Kindle screenshot ones.
Absolutely.
And everyone, feel free to write your questions in the comments. I'm going to go through all the questions at the end of the session, and we're going to have a Q&A session.
Okay, so here, 1 second, and I'll just pop over to my CT Rames one. So my TikTok here, this is the one that went viral. So you can see 189,000. It was, I believe, 25 slides long, and it's really simple. Same image in the background. It was just bits from the book, and it went so crazy. As you can see, like I have, 9,626 likes on here, and then 5,000, over 5,000 saves, which is always good, because if people are saving the book, that means they really want to read it. Because not everybody's going to jump over straight and buy it or start reading. But yeah, so as you can see, it's like ridiculously simple. Mm-hmm. And then if you go all the way back to the beginning, actually, hang on a second here. To see the first slide. So like this was in the early days of doing hooks. So it's not even a crazy hook, really. Like when you hear laughter echoing from the dining room, but it's not your name they're calling anymore. People seem to resonate with that. They just kind of went bonkers. And I did, in this one, I did put the title, but a lot of my posts, I wasn't putting the title, and so people would ask about it. So for example, like these ones here, you can see these ones I didn't put the title on. And then people would ask about it, which drove more and more interaction with TikTok. And of course, TikTok loves that, because I would go in and answer with what the book was and stuff. So I still do that sometimes. Sometimes I don't. It's like a toss-up. So those were the TikToks. And then like TikTok has been doing crazy for me. It's like back and forth. So here, like there's a bunch of views and few views, and yeah, it's all over the place. So let me just show you my...
One related question that just came in regarding TikTok is, what music are you putting on your TikToks?
So I just let it choose. So when you do AuthorScale and put the slideshows and you publish them to TikTok, TikTok chooses the sound usually. I just go with whatever it chooses. I very, very rarely pick something unless it's a little bit, like if it's really off, then I will. For example, one time it was like, I don't know, somebody had uploaded their tape of themselves doing intimate things, and we don't want that on the video. So I changed the music for that, but most of the time it's just, So here, this is the one that went viral on Facebook. So 117,000 views, which isn't crazy, but I'll show you in a second what it looked like on my dashboard, like in terms of sales. So yeah, I just kept putting these up. I did a slideshow video, and you can see it did not perform as well. All of these ones were around like 300, 400 views beforehand, and then once this one went viral, people started like looking at my page. But you can see down here, like,
so it lifted all of them.
Yes. So like, I mean, this is what 800 was a good day, Anyways, so yeah, so since then I've had a bunch of big ones. People have been talking, and sometimes they just don't do as well. But I've found that the long screenshots tends to perform better. So, yeah.
Would you be able to quickly show on AuthorScale the option to also add music to TikTok, so it's a bit more concrete for people?
For the screenshots. So
For the
the screenshot
slideshow.
for the slideshows.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Because
if we go.
some people are still asking about the slideshows. For example, somebody asked if your books are in KU.
Yes, they are. Yeah, everything is in KU. Because I'm a romance author, that's the best spot for me because people just devour the books. So,
Okay.
so if we are here, and if you want to add it, for example, well, actually, I'll just if you're uploading to TikTok, you can put in your information here and send as a draft. When you send it as a draft, it's going to choose music on TikTok. So when you go in on your phone, it shows whatever music TikTok has chosen for you. So you can change it then by tapping on the sound and adjust it. If you are doing a video, you can use this as the slideshows. It will create a slideshow like this. In this case, I have the same. I always use the same image in the background. So here it's just doing this, but you can also turn on the transition effect so it actually looks like a slideshow. If you're doing this, when you finalize the video, you can also put video in the background, like stock video. But
somebody is asking, where do you get your pictures for TikTok?
So you can use stock video, stock images, or you can use AI. AuthorScale has built-in AI if you want to use it. I'll show you in just a second. So yeah, so here, if I post it, then it won't have any sound yet.
Can you quickly go to the slides on the left-hand side? And if you, maybe let's create a new slideshow and then show everything from scratch.
Sure. So you have up here, you have your books that you can choose from. Okay. And then here you can choose which scene you want. These are the top scenes, but like all the scenes in your book are included. So you can just pick one that works. You can do as many slides as you want, up to 30, I believe. I usually stick to 5 or 6. And then generate. And it comes up with the hooks for you. So looking at that scene in your book, it will pull out the hooks, post them all. You can also write your own hooks if you want. I personally don't, just because it's my book and for some reason I have a block on that and I cannot write good hooks for them. Yeah, so I use this. It pulls out the hooks for you. This one here, when your pack finds a fated mate and it's not you. Okay, in this case, I go to editor. And here I wouldn't actually put your heart aches. I just want to keep it nice and short and grab their attention, right? So people want to click on it. So here you can either upload your own image. You can click here and do stock images if you want. You can browse new if you want a different one, or you can generate an image. So here's what I do. You have different options. I always use Moody because my books tend to be very dark. And basically, it will give you a suggestion written from your scene, but it looks at your whole book, so it gives you like a good idea of what this should look like. It's not always perfect, but you can tweak it, and then you can generate from that. You can also just write your own prompt if you prefer. If you have like images that you've already commissioned or whatever for your book, then you can upload them, which is very handy. So yeah, so this looks pretty good. And you can add different images up here if you want. You could just put this and select each one and put a different image on each slide. For me, that takes way too much time, and I'm trying to get these out as quickly as possible. I sit down on Sunday and I basically batch everything for the entire week. So I have multiple accounts. That takes quite a bit of time. So here, you'd add this. You can move the text around if you want. So like sometimes I'll put it down here if it's blocking someone's face or something. In this case, it works fine there.
And then somebody asked, maybe you can quickly click on upload to TikTok and then scroll down a bit. I think this was what you were referring to before about posting directly to TikTok. When you click that, and you scroll down,
yeah, you can auto
add music.
Yeah.
So, and yeah.
Yeah, and then I would put public to everyone.
Somebody asked about hashtags. Are you using hashtags? How are you using
Yes.
hashtags?
So we're allowed to use 5 hashtags, and hashtags are not as used now by TikTok, so they're not necessarily useful to TikTok's algorithm. But I still use them because people click on them. So, for example, I'll use Omegaverse, like hashtag Omegaverse, hashtag fated mates, hashtag rejected mate. And what happens is people want to read more of those or see more of those books, so they'll click on that tag and it takes them to the page with everything on it. So, for example, if I am on here, if I go, let's say, to here, and I've got like Broken Omega, I've got Omegaverse Romance, I'll click on that and it'll give me all the Omegaverse Romance. So if somebody else is posting about that and they use the same hashtag and someone clicks on it because they want to see more Omegaverse Romance, then they will end up seeing my video as well as, all these videos. So that's why I still use them.
Yeah, we've heard both theories. For some authors, it's not working at all. They're leaving it out. Others are seeing success with it. So there's multiple theories out there, and I guess people need to find out what works for them. Having said that, on Instagram, there was a video from the CEO of Instagram who said that hashtags don't really have an impact on your views, right? Because the platforms get more and more sophisticated in terms of categorizing what your content is about, making sure to show it to the appropriate audience. So that is getting better and better. And somebody asked, I thought she said slideshows didn't do as well as Kindle screenshots, or what was it, videos? Maybe I'm remembering wrong. Yes, so this is the slideshow format, but maybe let's also talk a bit more about the newer formats that you've seen success with.
Yeah, so I find right now, slideshows are still very successful for me, or like relatively more successful than screenshots on TikTok. Everywhere else, the screenshots are the ones that are doing well for me. So here you can choose your book. You can either generate or you can do it manually. I usually do it manually. You can pick a scene. So again, and then you just scroll down and you select the section that you want for your book. And then it will create it. And in the AI side of things, you get it automatically will highlight the dialogue, which is quite handy. But you can also highlight it yourself. You can highlight anything that you want. Just a sec, I'll show you. This has changed things so much because trying to highlight on my phone for Kindle screenshots has just been absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so if you click in here, I've got different people talking, so we don't want them all in blue. So you can just change up the colors. Let's see, that's Jack as well. And then, yeah, so you can just change up your colors here. And then anything that you want, for example, like if there's, this one doesn't have any bad words, but let's say that there was a word that you didn't want it to show up on TikTok because they're annoying, or Facebook or whatever, you can do this and it will show up as struck through. You can also blur it, you can put a big block over it, etc. So that's very, very handy, and it's so fast compared to everything else. You can also put it in dark or light. So I've been using just light, and then, but apparently some people are having really good success with dark, so I will probably be testing. I tried one yesterday and it went okay, but I didn't really see a big difference. So once you have it back here, you've saved it, you can use for video. You can drag all of these around. You have multiple hook options here, or you can just write your own hook, whatever you want. Yeah, so I've been doing this. And then usually, this one's a little bit big here. Then I add extra text down here at the bottom, and I'll just put in the author and the book name, and then make it small. There we go. And then you can set your background video. So here, I often do like nature things. So for example, some rain because it's a sad scene, and this is what it will look like. And then if you want to put it in dark, it looks like that. And this is what the video will look like. And then you can also add music. So down here add background music, and this music will travel with the video. So if you're uploading it to Instagram, then it will come with the music. You can also do it without music and use Instagram's music or whatever. I like to put the music in the background just so that I can upload it everywhere on Pinterest and YouTube and everything, and not have to stress about whether or not it has sound. So yeah, so you can upload your own music if you want, or you can generate music. You can also choose from the public library here. So I don't think you guys can actually hear that, but
Yeah, I was able to hear it.
oh yeah, okay. So yeah, so you can choose where you want it from. So here. All right, then you render your video. So we've got all of this done. It's got music, it's got all the text that you want on it, the screenshot. So we render it out here. And I mean, this does take a little bit of time, but as you get used to it, you get very, very quick at it. So
You have your routine, and when you do that, like, is it once a week, or what do you do with it?
yeah, so on Sundays I sit down and I do all my slideshows for the week. I usually just put on a movie and then I just go through and make all my slideshows. And then these I tend to do more each day. So once you have it here, you can download the video. You can post directly to TikTok or whatever. You can use the screenshot as well. I usually just do this and then send it to the upload like that. Then you've got it there. You can post to Instagram Reels, post to YouTube Shorts, but because I'm doing this, I just go ahead and add it to the YouTube queue. And you can also use this to suggest hashtags or tags, and it also gives you like ideas for the description. So something that I was really struggling with before was actually like, what am I going to write about? So for example here, this one isn't great, but let's redo it. Yeah, and it gives you suggestions here. So I don't like using book talk because everybody uses it, so I would probably put like alpha x omega, right? And then once you have all of that, just add it to your queue and off you go. And same for Instagram. And then I download the video and upload it to Facebook. But right now, Instagram, I have Instagram connected to Threads, so it also posts there automatically when it goes out to Instagram. So, and then I will just quickly show you my Instagram if you would like to see. So on Instagram, I don't have trial reels. I only have 100 followers right now because I'm still rebuilding my account after being deleted. So obviously they're still pushing out my videos because going from 100 followers to like 26,000 views is not bad at all. So I'm assuming that this is similar to what happens with trial reels, but I haven't had a chance to test those yet. So yeah.
It's awesome. I realized that some people might need a bit of explanation on what cues are. So maybe you could quickly go
Absolutely.
back there. Somebody also asked about the length of the Kindle screenshot video. Do you have like a best practice there, or do you vary it?
7 seconds.
7 seconds for you.
Yep. So I've heard that that's the best timing, and that is what I do. Yeah. And it's obviously worked fairly well for me. So for cues, basically it's scheduling, which makes life much simpler if you're busy and running around doing all these things, even if you're just trying to write, you know, but a lot of writers have second jobs as well. So you're not always able to get things out when you want to. You're not going to be able to like sit down, you know, 3 times a day and put up a post. So if you go into posts on AuthorScale here, you have cues and you have TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Okay, you can just do this, add a cue, and it will give you your other options. Okay, but here if you click on this gear icon, you can set posting times and you can just add them as you want. You can adjust them. You can send as a draft, which is what I do because otherwise TikTok starts to think you're a robot. You can also post directly, like if you're, for example, I went on vacation for a little bit, and so I just had it post directly for the few days that I was on vacation, because as long as it's like a well warmed up account and everything, then you're fine. But usually I send as a draft, so then 3 times a day, so usually at breakfast time, at lunchtime, and dinner time, I am on there on my phone and I post manually, and then I do a little bit of scrolling and interacting with other videos in my genre just so that TikTok sees that I'm actually a human being. Okay, and then when you schedule something, when you send it to your queue, it just lines it all up here. So you can see these are my queues so far. So in 2 days, this is going out. This is going out in 2.5 hours, etc. So the queue just fills up as you send things to it. It's very useful.
Awesome. Somebody's asking, what is the difference between scheduling on YouTube and using the queues? I think you partly answered that already. So when you're creating a post, you can just send it to YouTube, post it, or schedule it, let's say tomorrow at 5 p.m. But if you're building a content system and you have like a posting frequency, the queue makes life a bit easier because as you're prepping the content, you can just send it to the queue. You predefine your posting schedule, your intervals, and it will just kick in at the given intervals.
Yeah. Also, for things like TikTok, you can only schedule, like you can only upload 5 on the day. So it's like, it's a pain in the butt to go through. Actually, I'll just show you what it looks like here. Yeah, so if you post to TikTok and you want to schedule it, you have to like go in here, you have to click on this, you have to decide what day, what time, and you know how like when you're doing a bunch of things like that, you forget which day you scheduled things for. Like, did I already do the 10 a.m. one? It's a pain in the butt. So yeah, queues just automatically sets that all up for you and you don't have to deal with it. So the less thinking I have to do and the less clicking around and planning that I have to do, the better, because really all I want to do is write. Marketing is like one of the things they don't really tell you about when you become an author. They're like, yeah, go write, you know, put your stories out in the world, but then you have to market. And let's face it, most of us are not marketers. So I want to do things as easily as possible and get the marketing part over and done with so that I can focus on the writing. And this is how I do it. So something else I should point out.
Chat. Oh, sorry. Maybe, yeah, go on.
I was just going to say in posts here, when you look at published, you can actually sort them by like the highest views. So for example, like this one here was in March 9th, 2025. I had almost 95,000 views. So then what I will do is I'll go in here and I'll duplicate. And so I've been doing this a lot lately. You go back and you republish the older posts. So once you have like a certain amount of posts, you can see which ones are performing best, and those are the hooks that you can regenerate. So once you have a certain amount, like I'd say probably a month worth of content, you can start reusing hooks and even just like adjusting, like changing the background. You can adjust a little bit, like adjust the hook a little bit, and then that also helps you reach a bigger audience, because the more times you post those things that have been proven to work, the more views you're going to get.
Chat. Josie is asking the golden question. Have you been able to see how videos translate into your actual sales?
Yes, I have. So I will show you my dashboard. So remember when I showed you that reel that had 117,000 views? That was this day. So this is my release. Obviously, I had pretty decent days going up here. It was dropping off as releases do. Then this was the video that hit 117. It dropped off for 2 days and then just basically held steady until now. It's starting to drop off. However, tonight, because of time zones and stuff, my other book will start going out, the release, and so it's going to go back up again. And then I will be pushing that book as well. So yeah, you can obviously see the correlation, right?
That's around $400 or $500 a day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you're using no ads, just this type of organic marketing.
Yeah, it's only organic. I haven't done any paid advertising yet. That's next on the list, because now I know what's working. Now I can start focusing on ads as well. But yeah, for just organic marketing, I'm so happy with this. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's going very well.
Very nice, yeah. Swing Kit 09 asks, once you duplicate a video in AuthorScale, are you able to change the background image?
Yeah. So let me just show you that real fast. Oops, that should be this one here. So once you've got your, this is a duplicated image, copy, you just go into editor. You can change anything here. So like, I don't like to use the exact same hook too many times. So like a couple times a month max. So then I would switch it up. But then you can just do this and add a new video, boom, or add a new background image, and you're good to go. So yeah, it's very, very simple. And then you can just publish it as usual.
How many platforms are you now active on, and how many accounts are you actively running?
So yeah, I'm on Pinterest, which has not done a lot. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. So where I'm seeing the most impact right now is on Facebook and Instagram,
Yeah.
and then TikTok. So those three are the big ones. But I figure why not post to everywhere, right? Because it makes sense. So on all of those, I only have one. On TikTok, I have, I think, 7 accounts, and I'm posting regularly to 3 of them. Some of them are just experimental ones. I have 2 that are actually dead, so I'm just letting them sit for now, and then I'll go back and see if I can warm them up. And by warming up, I mean telling TikTok what I want, like what my audience is. So actually, AuthorScale is a really good guide at booktalkguide.com. But basically, what you want to do is go in and let TikTok know exactly who your audience is. And by doing that, like to do that, you go into your TikTok account on your phone and look at videos and interact with videos that are on your genre. And after you do that for like a week, you should be seeing your For You page almost entirely posts on your genre. And when you post something, it'll actually go out to that group, as opposed to like if I just suddenly start a new account and post this, it's going to go out to a whole wide variety of audience. Let's say it goes out to some football players and they have zero interest in, bully romance. So then if that happens, they're not going to watch it, they're not going to click on it, they're not going to interact. So then TikTok goes, this video didn't land, and they restrict your views. Whereas if it goes out to people who are obviously interested in this genre, then they're going to interact, they're going to be watching it through, they're going to maybe watch it a couple of times. And when that happens, then TikTok goes, ooh, yeah, this video is hitting, let's spread it to more of these people. And then it keeps going out.
Yeah, that's also something that we see, kind of the pattern across all the thousands of accounts that are connected to AuthorScale. So this whole topic of warming up is one of the more common mistakes that authors do when they get started with new accounts. And it's exactly how Genesis mentioned. So especially for Instagram and TikTok, before you start posting, we recommend you take a couple of days and you just consume content. You don't post anything, you just create the account, you consume content, and the content you consume and interact with should be very relevant to your niche, like really niche down your trope even. No funny cat videos, no life hacks, nothing that is really doesn't have anything to do with your author career, because that helps the platform, Instagram and TikTok, put you into a certain bucket. They will learn about your consumption behavior. So when you then post a video, it's more likely to reach relevant people. And when the first couple of views that you get are shown to relevant readers and they interact with your post, you're more likely to get more views. That is how you unlock kind of more views at any given stage. That is why warming up is so important. Now, having said that, for YouTube, for example, we've seen that warming up is less of an issue. So we have done experiments where we ran YouTube accounts and queues with the AuthorScale system from new accounts that we didn't warm up with, and they're generated views. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views, which is really good. So those are basically free views, right? Without much warming up or any warm up. And makes sense. YouTube is less of a social media platform, is more like of a video consumption platform. And yeah, you're showing your YouTube stats now here.
Yeah. Yeah. So here you can see I started using the queues because they became available, and I'm much more consistent than before. And you can actually see that reflected in the views. Because I have videos going out every day. So I saw somebody had asked how many AuthorScale videos am I doing. So I do 3 slideshows a day on my one account, and I do 2 a day on another account, but with a different style. And then the the screenshot ones, I do 2 a day. So I do 2 a day on Facebook, and then everywhere else it's 1 a day. So I will probably bump that up on Instagram. Right now, I just didn't want to get banned or anything again. I'm a little paranoid now. But yeah, it's been going well enough that I probably am going to bump up this week to 2 on Instagram per day.
That's a lot. I mean, that's really a lot. How much time does it take you a week, let's say, to maintain all of those accounts, roughly?
So, I mean, actually making the videos or the slideshows probably takes me about 2 hours to do. On Sunday while I'm watching a movie. And then the actual screenshots, I mean, you saw how quickly they go out. So yeah, it's like maybe 10 minutes a day, if that.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually interacting with the people and the videos and everything like that probably takes me another 15 to 20 minutes a day across all accounts.
Okay. Sounds manageable.
It really is, because like I said, I really just want to write. So being able to take a small amount of time out of my day or my week to get those posts out is really handy.
And I guess for somebody who's just joined new and they're starting out, can it still sound a bit frightening? Okay, like you're running that many accounts over so many platforms and posting so many times a day. What would you say if you had to start over right now? What would be your first few steps?
So my first thing would be to start on TikTok, because it's very easy to get discovered there. So yeah, I would start out on TikTok doing either type of video, like slideshows or screenshots, either one, whatever you're comfortable with. I would start out there with one account, posting once a day. And as you gain confidence and you get faster at everything, then you start posting twice a day. Once you get that under your belt, then I would expand it to Instagram and then to Facebook. Because you can use the same videos, though, it's really a no-brainer to just send it everywhere, especially now that AuthorScale has those queues. So you set up your queues. Once you have your screenshot video, then why not send it everywhere, you know? It just makes sense. And you can connect your Instagram to Threads and to Facebook. So really, you're posting to 3 places in one. So to me, that just is like, it's a no-brainer to post to those places. It takes seconds.
You mentioned that you're launching your book tomorrow. How does your launch tomorrow differ from previous launches that you did? Yeah.
Well, this is the first time that I have launched talking about it across all platforms. So normally I would only do a few videos on TikTok and then mention it in my email, my newsletter, and I would probably post like a still image on my Facebook page, which I did do this time as well. But yeah, this time I've been pumping it up, been posting, because I start posting about it, doing screenshots and stuff, at least a week, 2 weeks ahead of time. And so the new book is already getting interest. People start pre-ordering, but they've already got it marked on their calendar that this book is coming out, right? And it's actually really fast after the last book, because I had a gap of time. I didn't really publish from like March until the end of June. So it was a bit of a gap, and people were really excited for the book, but I had 2 books to come out. So I'm doing these 2 books, and then I'm moving into a new series. So, and then I'll alternate between the 2 series. But yeah, basically the difference is that I'm going to be publishing across multiple accounts in multiple social media sites.
One thing that we keep hearing from especially new authors, or the question that comes up a lot, is, hey, I'm preparing for my first release. When should I start posting about it? Do you have like an answer for them? Do you start posting after it's released or even before? How do you handle this?
Yeah, I post before. There's really no reason not to get people excited about your book ahead of time. And yes, there will be a few people who are like, wait a minute, this book isn't even out yet. But overall, the response is very, very positive. And what I do too is I set up my pre-order when I publish my last book, so that I can link to it in the end of that book. And so I start posting once in a while about it from then, which might be like a couple months out. Once you have a pre-order though up, then you can send people there, right? And they can pre-order the book. Because I'm in KU, I don't get as many pre-orders as somebody who's wide. But that doesn't really matter because some pre-orders still come through, and when you hit, like for example tonight, midnight, in Australia, the sales will start coming in, and that is a nice little boost. It pushes you up pretty high on Amazon. Of course, as soon as you get higher ranking, then you get noticed more, and it just kind of snowballs. So I would definitely recommend it. Minimum 2 weeks ahead of the book being published, but yeah, you can start teasing it long before that.
We have even heard from authors who used this type of short form content successfully to acquire ARC readers, right? So even while the book is in editing or later stages of editing, because people will ask in the comments, oh, this is like, if it's a good hook, if it's a nice Kindle screenshot video or a slideshow and it's engaging, people might ask for the book title if you're not mentioning it. And then you can say, hey, this is the title, it's not out there, it's not out yet, but would you be interested in a free ARC? And we've had people that did that and acquired hundreds of ARC readers that way and already got feedback. And the first day when it launched, they had a good amount of comments. So yeah, I would also kind of reply in the same way. So the earlier you start, the better, really, because you're going to learn about all the social media platforms, or at least you're going to just improve. There's going to be a learning curve, right? So there's really no point in just waiting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, let people know about your book. That's the best way to start marketing your book, is to tell them about it, right? And TikTok makes it super easy to do that because it pushes it out to all these people that you don't know. So yeah, it's a good place to start.
Let me go through some of the comments here. I just saw that there's a feature that I can show it here. Let's see. Sorry, say that again, please. Frequency of posting. Quickly, how many times a day are you roughly posting?
So 3 times a day with the slideshows on TikTok, and twice a day with the Kindle screenshots.
All right, next one. I heard choosing and applying the music and Instagram itself increases the chances of higher reach versus adding it outside the app, Canva or AuthorScale. But apparently that's not the case.
I mean, I don't know because I don't choose the music. So, but as you can see, I mean, I haven't had an issue with that.
Yeah. It's worth experimenting.
Yeah.
One approach is just way quicker to do. So you could queue up entire weeks of content. Maybe even if average views were lower, it still kind of piles up. But it's something that we're also experimenting with internally, and something that might be talking about later. But for now, I mean, AuthorScale, the big value is in terms of content creation, right? And kind of how you distribute it. We have the queues, we help you there also, but many authors also just download it and post it that way, right? So it's really, everyone has kind of their own unique way of posting it in the end. Next question. Sorry, maybe I missed this. Can we add Instagram Reels to an Instagram queue and AuthorScale like we can for YouTube and TikTok? Yes, that's actually an announcement that we're happy to do. Since this week, we have been officially approved by Instagram, which means we're now an Instagram partner, and we can, you can create your content and fill up your Instagram queue the same way that it was already possible for YouTube Shorts.
So useful.
Here, would different platforms respond to different videos?
Yeah, well, like I said, like TikTok definitely seems to do better with screenshots, or with slideshows, sorry, for me, whereas other accounts do better with the screenshots. So, for example, when I put slideshows on Instagram, they went nowhere. But screenshots, as you saw, they take off.
Awesome. Somebody's saying, I'm completely new. I can't find out how to even use AuthorScale. Will this video be available? Yes, so the video is going to stay on YouTube. You can just watch it from the beginning. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, help@authorscale.com, and we will be happy to help you out.
Also the Discord, join the Discord, because it's a good spot to get help.
So you don't find posting right after a viral reel usually, again, so you don't find posting right after a viral reel usually dies, not take off, because the algorithm is still pushing the views towards the viral one as opposed to the new one?
So I have heard that, and on YouTube, I'd heard that you really want to wait until the views die down. I tried it; it didn't seem to do very much. They would spike same as they do right now, and like as you saw, my YouTube is with posting constantly. I mean, they're not really going viral, but posting constantly, I'm getting better views from that. And I haven't tried it so much on Facebook, but the ones that I have had, like, they seem to be doing just fine posting immediately after. So, like, well, the next day.
Yes, the video will be on AuthorScale channel. They have other really helpful videos. I'm new too, just started last week with AuthorScale. Congrats on getting the journey started. There's going to be a huge learning curve. And yes, we'll try to share as much educational stuff with anyone. We don't like to gatekeep that kind of stuff. And we really hope that everyone finds success with short form content, because it's really a good foundation for your entire marketing mix. Genesis hasn't even started with ads, and we are running some experiment with ads. And if you're using the creatives that are performing well for your audience, and you just use those creatives and run ads with those, given some best practice setups, they just perform way better than creatives that you come up with just because you want to run ads. So we recommend start to run ads once you have like organic figured out. You will figure out what hooks resonate with your audience. This will help you write better newsletters, just understand what your audience is after, and write more books given your audience's feedback, and then start running ads. So it's a really good, very, let's say, low entry barrier way to get content distributed about your books and learn about where you can grow more as an author.
I think that's very important too, because so much of being an author requires money, like the covers and the editing and everything like that. So if you can test your ideas out and test out the hooks and stuff for basically for free on social media, then it's really worth it. Then you can decide where you want to put more money.
Mm-hmm. How many weeks before, if it's a new release?
I'd say minimum 2 weeks.
All right. What's your best practice for pointing viewers on where to buy your book?
So most of the time I don't actually need to tell them where. They will ask for the title. Sometimes they ask for the author. So what I do is I comment like Omega Lost by C.T. Rames. Sometimes I'll put it's on KU. Most of the time I don't. People just automatically go to Amazon and search for it. And one of the great things about that, I do have links in bio, but most people don't click on those. So what happens is they go to Amazon and they search for the book, and that actually boosts things on Amazon too, because it starts appearing as a suggested search, which is very nice.
Was it answered? Are captions necessary on TikTok and Instagram? Are the hashtags you mentioned, you aren't looking for the ones with the biggest views, like Bookstagram or BookTok?
No. So what happens, it's the book talk one first. The hashtags that have a lot, this is me personally, I just don't use those because there's so many people using them that it's just a constant spin. So if my videos aren't going to show up on that unless I'm posting constantly, right? Because there's just so many people posting every single day with book talk, hashtag book talk. So I end up going for things that are more niche. And I don't remember where I read it, but one of the things that I saw was you should do 3 that are trope specific and 2 that are genre specific. So I tend to lean towards that. So like fated mates, the one bed or forced proximity, found family, things like that for some of them. And then Omegaverse and Omegaverse romance, things like that for the other tags. And then what was the other part of the question? The captions. Are the captions necessary? Possibly not. I always add them, even just something simple. I do think that they grab your attention a little bit. I know in Instagram, for example, I always read the captions, so just to get a little bit more context. So yeah, and I mean, it doesn't hurt to add a line, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're using the suggest feature, because that's right, nice and easy.
Can we select trial reels if we use AuthorScale's Instagram queue? Yes, you can define, there's a tick box where you can say, hey, please post this as a trial reel.
It's not
Yeah,
there.
Genesis is
Yes.
showing it.
So here, yeah, you can post as a trial reel if you have trial reels, which I don't. So
Have you been doing any manual uploads or all queued?
so I do manual uploads on Facebook. So I haven't connected my Instagram yet. It was a little complicated. I got frustrated, stopped trying. So I just download the video and then upload it directly onto Facebook. Everything else I pretty much do now with queues. But I was doing YouTube Shorts and I was doing Instagram with downloading as well. So yeah, I have done that. I'm actually seeing better results with the queues. Just I think probably because I'm being more consistent with it. So
I'm excited about trying the Kindle screenshot with hooks.
it's awesome.
So we like to hear. I'm curious about what our authors here are writing. I'm not writing romance. So yeah, please write in the comments what you're writing.
I've talked to quite a few people who work are using AuthorScale. We've got like lots of thriller writers. We've got science fiction. I mean, it does work for other genres as well.
Yeah, and also Wendy talked about this in last week's live that we did. I mean, she also writes romance, but she's not really using the spicy elements of her books, right? She's leaning very much toward into the emotional parts or even the funny parts. How is it for you? What would you say is your secret sauce?
Definitely emotional. So I find anything that's pushing pain is what really sells. So like making people either really curious as to like what's going on here. So like if you look at my posts and look at the most popular ones, this one here, like they didn't just bully me, they erased me. So that's kind of like, it's painful, but it's also curious. Like, well, what did they do? Like, how did they erase her, you know? Or when your bullies show up with groceries at your front door, that's like an oxymoron, right? Like why your bully's trying to take care of you. So those kind of things tend to pull people in. Or this one, he sold her out to the heat dens, instantly pain, right? Or this, I don't care what you do to her, I'm not paying, I don't reward terrorists. That makes you want to know exactly what's going on there, right? So these are just like things that are very emotional, hooks that are going to make you curious, like what's happening next. So you know when you read like a book and you get to the end of a chapter and you just need to know what happens next, so you keep reading. That's the effect you want to have on your audience, but on the first hook. So the first thing they see when they're scrolling, you want them to go, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? And they want to swipe and watch.
So next one, I have to say AuthorScale has saved me so much time. Awesome, we like to hear that. Some authors are sharing what they're writing, thriller, mystery, thriller, suspense. Are there any videos showing how to use AuthorScale? Well, this one here right now is probably the most up to date. We've been very fast with adding new features, so we're a bit behind with showcasing all of them. So, but it's definitely something we have on our list to update, yeah, basically, or add a how-to section where we guide everyone really detailed through the process. Yeah, sorry for that. Somebody writing psychological thrillers, but my first series was sci-fi. Even some spiritual, ecological fiction. Then somebody asking, would you recommend everything connected? Threads, Facebook, Reels for more chances of getting seen?
I mean, if that's what it takes to get everything put out there, then yes. There's no reason not to use the same video as many times as you can, right? I mean, it just seems silly to leave those on the table, honestly. And like, for example, Threads, I don't really spend time on Threads because Threads tends to be very mean to authors. But I do put my videos up there, so, you know, maybe 1 or 2 people sees them. It cost me literally nothing because I didn't even go on Threads. And it's getting some views and people are going to know about the book, right?
Good. Historical magical realism, speculative magical realism. There's some exotic genres here. Small town, contemporary romance, women's fiction, thriller. This has been great information. Thank you. So we're slowly wrapping up here. It's now an hour that we've been talking. Yes, you have been changing very fast, but the support instruction is simply not keeping pace. So I would say definitely subscribe to the channel here, and we're sending out. We're planning to do way more of these videos, like sharing the success stories that we see inside our community. There's so many success stories that we also are behind with those. I would love to showcase all of them. And if you ever wanted to do a favor and help us, the biggest thing is if you see any success, if you have success with any new format or a new semi-viral post or just a breakthrough in wherever kind of stage you are as an author, if you share that story with your author friends or in author groups on Facebook or Threads, that helps us a lot, because it shows to people how powerful social media and short form content is. And we are only as successful as the authors who use our software, our tool. So our main goal is obviously to make you more successful. And also we host regularly community hangouts. Stay tuned for the next announcement, where we just hang out everyone in a Google Meet and receive all your feedback, what you like, what you don't like, and we like to prioritize the things that get requested the most. So yeah, if you start to use AuthorScale, we know it's not perfect yet, but we usually try to fix everything very fast and build the stuff that you suggest and recommend. Somebody is asking for the Discord community. So when you sign up to AuthorScale, you will find it very prominently at the bottom left. We can also put it in the show notes later once the video is on YouTube. I mean, it's already on YouTube. So yeah, any closing statements, Genesis, from your end?
Just, I would say, if you've been holding back or thinking about it and just kind of hesitating about getting on social media or TikTok, do it. And don't sleep on the other sites as well, because obviously I did for a long time on Facebook, and as you can see, that was 100% worth it. So
awesome. Thank you very much, Genesis, to be here with us again. It's your second success story. We hope we can soon do the third one. And we wish you continued success. Thanks also for being such a big part in our community, always so responsive. Genesis is also hosting coachings, right? So you have a group of coachees that you coach through like the beginnings of this whole short form jungle. Yeah, and so we're just so grateful to have you, Genesis. Thanks for spending some time here, educating everyone, and wish you all a nice day or evening wherever you are. Bye-bye.
thank you. Bye.